What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to look at GDX from my friend Corey, happy camper with dividends. She asked me to check this out, so let's get into GDX. This is Mike, the tactical stock scalper. All right. First thing we're going to do, my friend Corey, we're going to go ahead and look at here at the daily time frame, and then we're going to zoom out to a weekly and a monthly. And you can see I already have trend lines drawn, but let's start here. On the daily time frame, if we zoom out a little bit here, we can see the EMAs are all tangled up right in here for the most part, which shows that, you can just see all the EMAs all tangled up like spaghetti. That means that there is really no general direction and it can go up or down. But as you see, as it hit the bottom trend line, it has since erupted up. And now all trend lines are moving up in a bullish fashion. However, you'll notice this red line at the top. That is a larger trend line that we're going to look at, and it's no surprise that is rejected from that area and has come back down. Now, one thing I want you to notice is GDX doesn't really respect EMAs. So you can only use EMAs as a general direction. You can see right here, it respects price action. So here's just one great example. That we had it came down to 32, held $32, and then since bounced off. So just use EMAs for this particular stock as a general direction. Now let's go look at here at the weekly time frame. And we get a little more interesting here. Again, all the EMAs are tangled up, which signals no general direction. And as we see right here, zoom out a little more, GDX is in a massive wedge. What that means is it'll probably bounce up to this trend line, which it's done, fail, get rejected, and come all the way back down, possibly to that bottom trend line. Why do I say that? Well, because we have two tests on it already. Right here. Right here. So we have a couple tests, and now we have our third. So this is really showing how strong this trend line is. And it can, we can't be bullish on GDX until it breaks out of this trend line. Now, this trend line I have drawn is on my phone, and it is not down to the penny. If you want a tighter trend line, I would recommend you go to your computer and draw it a little tighter to get to the exact penny of where it rejects at. However, just know trend lines can expand or contract, but it'll still give you the general idea of what is happening here. So what we have here is a wedge, and it is turning into a bullish wedge. Why do I say that? Because it is trending down, so eventually at some point you would expect it to break out of this wedge, but it may be sometime, and we will go out to the monthly time frame to show you what I mean. But who knows when that could happen? That could be 6 months, a year, we don't know. But what we do know right now is it is extremely bearish. As you can see, we have lower highs all along the way. Let's go ahead and look at here at the monthly time frame. So let's take a deeper dive here at the monthly time frame. As you see, this thing back in 2015, 2017, just kind of middled around, consolidated, and then finally broke out, got above the 200 period moving average that you see there in purple, and tried to become bullish. But the problem with it is each candlestick, for instance, on this chart represents a month. It is completely bearish until it breaks out of this wedge. Again, just another lower highs, but look at the lows. The lows continue to get higher, right? We have a lower low. Let me point this out for you here. We have a low right here, okay? And then this next low, as you can see, is getting higher. But the highs are getting lower, forming this wedge. So what's going to happen is it's going to fail like it has, as we can zoom in here. from this top trend line, and it's going to come back down somewhere around the bottom trend line. I would say around $28. So this for me, I couldn't go long here on GDX, just for me personally. I would wait for this thing to come back down. If it was me, this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy who likes to study charts. I would wait until it comes back down to this $30 or $28 range before I got long on GDX, because what's going to happen is as it's proven now several times in a row, that's going to fail from this trend line, come all the way back down, middle around in there, and then possibly shoot back up. All the while, the highs continue to get lower, and the wedge continues to get tighter. I don't like it for the simple fact that we continue to get lower highs. You would want to see this the opposite. You'd want to see the highs continue to get higher with each pump. So, like I said, it could middle around in this wedge, Corey, for like a year. This just isn't my cup of tea personally. We really want to see things that have a bullish signal and look like they're going to be bullish for a long time. Let's get rid of some of these lines right quick. Okay, so here we are without the lines, and you can just see, even without the trend line being formed, the lower highs, right? So, but I mean, it doesn't seem to dump really hard. I mean, now if we break 25-ish, we're probably headed back down close to the $20 level. 25 seems to be a good level of support. So if I got down there, I would, that would be a great time to buy. Because you would expect it to rise back up from there. If it breaks 25, this thing could go all the way back down to 20 and maybe even lower down there to $12. But so in the long term, let's look at this. Let me show you something. Put it right here. Put it right here. Again, these are not exact. These are... So you do like this, the fact that the lows continue to get higher, right? So we can see that there, even from way back in 2016. So that's actually okay. But the problem that we're having, at least with the last 4 years, is this continual drop. It's almost Tesla-like that we continue to have these lower highs here. Sorry about my dog there. So there might be a better representation of the wedge for you. But again, I recommend you put the wedge on your own computer and draw your own trend line so you can get a little more exact. And that'll help you with your trading of when to go in or your investing, depending how you want to work this GDX. It'll help you, give you a much better signal to buy. But again, this thing does not respect EMAs. It will just give you a general direction with EMAs. So I would leave them on my chart, but wouldn't use EMAs for this particular stock. I would use trend lines for this one. As you can see, it really respects trend lines as opposed to EMAs. Hope you enjoy the content. This is Mike, the Tactical Stock Scalper, out.